This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate. That's on the agenda. Top of the show sheet today here on a Wednesday. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. No Bodie. We'll be back tomorrow for a Brody Thursday. Isaiah over there pushing the buttons. And the man to my left, he is back from the Sunshine State, Bobby Carpenter. Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning, Tito. How are we doing today?
Doing all right. How'd Florida treat you?
Florida was Florida. I mean, it's humid, it's flat, all the same things. Central Florida has no water, so got that going for me. But it's good talking to the Touchdown Club of Orlando. That was a lot of fun. And looking forward to head back again next year, so it'll be a good time.
What was your prevailing message?
Prevailing message?
Did you have a message? Like, did you have, like, I know you speak there and all that, but I
wrote down,
Yep.
I will tell you, my notes were coaches' firings, portal expectations, the portal off-ramp for players. I told some stories about my friend Nick Mangold and the culture that's created with that. And then I was going to start talking about the top jobs in college football, but didn't even get to the time of that. I spoke for about 40 minutes, and then we had questions, like Q&A afterwards. And I wanted to make sure they got to the question part because they had a lot of questions about college football and where everything was.
Did you tell them that Florida sucks? The school?
I did not tell them that it sucked, but I did give them some statistics that you could infer that when they asked about what's a better job, Florida or LSU. Being in Central Florida, there was a lot of Florida fans and alum there, and said in the last 15 years they haven't really been all that relevant. And so you can tell me all the things that they have going for them, which I won't disagree with, and all the benefits that they have to being a coach there and why it's a great job. I don't disagree with any of those, but if that's the case, then why haven't 4 coaches been more successful since Urban? And I go, Ed Orgeron is not innovating offensive football by any stretch, but he won a national championship at LSU, and so did Les Miles. And I don't know if either one of those guys are the brightest bulbs on the tree. So those guys could both do it at LSU, but yet at Florida, I go, and maybe you had the right guy here. I don't know, but you didn't give him enough time or give him enough support or whatever it may have been. So there's no way that LSU can hire these guys who, by all accounts, as I define it, outside of Nick Saban, are not great head coaches, but they won, and you have it in Florida. So please tell me why that's the case. So that was kind of layered in there, and and people are like, you're right in saying that. I'm not telling you that it's my opinion. I'm just telling you facts of the last 15 years. They've had 4 teams that have won 10 games or more. That's not that many for a school that you tell me is one of the best jobs in college football. I'm
wondering, Bob, now you mentioned that with the Les Miles and the Ed Orgeron, if they are 2 of the more unlikely coaches to win national titles in the last 40 years.
I would say that. I'd throw them. I'd throw Larry Coker in there.
Okay, Coker's a good one, yeah.
There's a handful of coaches that I would look at that watching their teams play and schematically what they do, I don't think that they're innovators as far as, or they are not giving their team an advantage by how they play. They have great players, and maybe they're well coached from a standpoint of their discipline, and guys do what they're supposed to do, but they're not amplifying the talent on their team by any schematic advantage.
We are sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin, an event risk elite protection. Morning Juice is, that is. 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, HD3. Download the show anytime. Catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Hear a replay of this here show on the Fan 2, 1460 a.m. from 1 to 3 p.m. Check us out live on Twitter and Facebook as well. Big show lined up for you today. We will have Austin Ward on in the second hour at around 7:20. We heard from Ryan Day what he had to say yesterday as he spoke. Last night, Jackets over the Sabres, 4-3 in overtime. Nice win for the CBJ. To get a road win there. Cavs are in Boston tonight at 7 o'clock. In the Major League Baseball in the World Series last night, Jays 6, Dodgers 2. Game 5 is tonight at 8 o'clock. That series tied up at 2 games apiece. All right, Bob. We had Bodie do it yesterday. You're back in the saddle again. Let's make people smarter. I got to play this date in history. We good there?
Turn the board up.
All right, that's right.
Nope.
Nothing over here.
Got figured out.
Longer careers, but
That's not it.
That's
That's
that
them.
just tapped us in across the hall. It's okay.
There we go.
There
All
it
right,
was.
we got it now. There we go.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, General, do your magic.
All right, it is Wednesday, October 29th, the 302nd day of the year. 63 days remaining in this 2025. This date's 1782. Mount Hood is named after Samuel Hood after being spotted near the Willamette River in Oregon. This date, 1921. One of the biggest upsets in college football. Center College wins over Harvard, ending their 25-game win streak. This date, 1929, one of the rougher days in stock market history. Black Tuesday, the New York Stock Exchange crashes, ending the roaring 20s and beginning the Great Depression, which, my goodness, we labored in that thing for about a decade. This date, 1960, an airplane, and I didn't even realize this, carrying Cal Poly, the Cal Poly football team, crashes during a takeoff in Toledo after playing against the Toledo Rockets.
Larry Austin, Joe Copeland, and Carl Bowser.
Then we ended up at Cal Poly together.
The three played for Cal Poly with goals of returning to Bakersfield as football coaches.
We had the desire to come back and coach the drillers together because we were all drillers. And we were arguing over who's going to be the head coach. But that didn't happen. So
Dreams cut short because of tragedy.
probably would have if they'd have lived. Probably would have.
October 29th, 1960. The Cal Poly football team had played their away game in Ohio and were heading home in foggy conditions.
I remember getting out of the bus, and I couldn't even see the airplane. It was probably maybe 20 yards away, and I couldn't even see it.
Carl recalls when the plane took off.
And I can remember us breaking out of the fog, and I could see the stars, and then right then the plane just started vibrating. We lost power, and we went back down, and we crashed.
Killing 22 of the 48 people on board, and Carl was almost one of them. When he boarded, a teammate asked to take Carl's seat, so Carl moved.
He sat in that seat, and he got killed. Had I sat in that seat, because he just flew forward, there's nothing in front of him. So that saved my life.
Two who weren't as lucky, his best friends, Larry and Joe.
I've thought about it a lot. I've prayed about it, and I just hope that they were killed instantly, because it was bad.
I had no idea. Did you know about that off?
I did not know about that one. No,
Yeah.
I think of the Marshall one. That's all when I think about the thing. I never knew about the Cal Poly, though.
Yeah, the Marshall one is one that's commonly known, but the one, obviously, at Cal Poly taking off out of Toledo. This date, 1969, the first ever computer-to-computer link, the ARPANET, was first utilized, a precursor to what we now know as the Internet, the interweb. 1983, Islands in the Stream.
Kenny and Dolly.
Do you know who wrote Islands in the Stream?
Chris Christopherson.
I don't know who that is.
He was a country singer and actor who he wrote some other songs, though. But
It was by the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees wrote it.
oh, did they really? Okay, yeah.
Bee Gees put it together, but had big-time fame, obviously, with Kenny and Dolly.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me.
They sound just like
I do.
Another world.
We'll rely on each other.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
From one lover to
You sound, I thought you were Kenny.
Yeah, I know.
You were Kenny right
I know.
there. On the same date, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd breaks the record for most weeks in the Billboard. 491 weeks they were hanging out there.
Pink Floyd overrated.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, but that's a factual statement. 491 weeks.
It's a long time.
Better a poke in the eye.
Yeah.
This day, 1998, the Space Shuttle Discovery blasts off. And in honor of that, last night I watched Armageddon, by the way. Blasts off with a 77, and the oldest man in space at that time, Mr. Senator John Glenn.
And while we have not yet seen John Glenn in space tonight, we know he's up there because we've heard him, as well as his commander. Here are some excerpts.
Well, enjoying the show is right. This is beautiful. The best part is do a trite old statement, 0G, and I feel fine. I don't know what happens on down the line, but today is beautiful and great, and Hawaii is just, I just can't even describe it. And Beamer, let the record show that that John has a smile on his face, and it goes from one ear to the other one, and we haven't been able to remove it yet.
I mean, it's wild to think that was 27 years ago.
So I see he's still the oldest person to orbit the Earth.
There you go.
But two people older than him, according to the wiki thing. Ed Dwight is the oldest at 90 years, 8 months, and 10 days old. Flew on Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket on May 19th, 2024. The second oldest was 90 years old when he also flew on that on October 13th, 2021, though. Billy Shatner, Captain Kirk.
Well, of course. I mean, I didn't know that he was taking his space shuttle back up. The USS Enterprise.
Yes, that's what he was in, yes. On October 13th, 20. I had no idea.
They didn't orbit the Earth. He actually just
went to space. Those two guys, Ed Dwight and William Shatner, both just went in space, whereas Glenn's the oldest person to orbit the Earth.
Yeah. Pretty remarkable stuff out of the fine and famed Ohioan. And then this date, 2012. It's wild. We were flying back from London at this point in time, but one of the most northern hurricanes to hit, Hurricane Sandy, makes landfall with costing with an estimated price tag of $70 billion in damage.
Sandy is coming. The question is, how will New York City handle it? The Big Apple has been shut down to its core. Lower Manhattan looks like a ghost town. Wall Street will be closed for consecutive days because of weather for the first time since the 1800s. In a place where you have to look up to see where many people live, skyscrapers are a concern. Wind speeds on the ground are half those on the top floors, sometimes forcing buildings to sway. At Ground Zero, still under construction, special precautions as teams have worked for days to disassemble or lash down massive machinery. But the main threat from Sandy is storm surge, not just flooding. Surge effect hits like a liquid fist, powered by 80-mile-an-hour winds. 375,000 people in the potential flood zone have been told to evacuate, directed to 76 shelters around the city. But this is New York, and that means there are others who are deciding to stick. Could be a 10-foot wall of water. You're saying people want to stay put?
People definitely want to come and have a couple of pints and, we sink or swim together. This is what it's all about. Sense of community, New York City, no better place.
It's interesting. I went back a couple of years after Sandy, and it was amazing. Some of the devastation to some super old businesses, restaurants, and everything. Just what it did there. We flew into Boston Logan Airport, and it was all shut down. There was not a plane on the runway, which was wild to see. Some birthdays today. Born on this date, 1942, the joy of painting, Mr. Bob Ross.
The secret to this is to have a lot of paint, so you just have to barely touch the canvas. Go slightly above the dark, give it the least little touch, and just push slightly upward.
That's right.
You're just barely bending the bristles. Just decide where your tree lives and paint it in. That's all you have to do. And don't just hit it random. Look at it. Get a feel for it. Yeah. One of the best things you can do is take some time and go out in your yard or go out in the woods and study trees. Make friends with a tree. Talk
friends.
to him. Then you'll get to understand him. Look at what makes a tree look round. What gives it personality.
What gives it its personality? I think people want to know.
I had no idea marijuana was legal back then, but I would just say that, Bob, going out there, and if I went out there and started making friends with a tree, I got to believe the authorities would be called.
It's one with nature.
I know.
Born in this state in 1946, Peter Green, one of the original members and the original leader of Fleetwood Mac, born in this state in 1946. He was boosted from the band.
Okay, if he's one of the original, like the leaders, he was the leader of the band.
He was the original lead singer.
Why would you call Fleetwood Mac that? If you're like Peter Green, why wouldn't you call yourselves like Green Band, Green Day, or something? Like Green Day. Why would you say,
Way to
okay,
get
you know
original
what?
with that, Thitoff.
Let's see. Mick Fleetwood, I'm the lead singer. I'm the leader of the band. Let's name it after you.
You know, not everybody is as egocentric as you are, Thitoff. And
It's just a smarter business move, I would think.
yeah. A smarter business move, like
Yes.
to make sure that you're gonna ingratiate yourself in there and they can't replace you.
Exactly. Yes.
Is that? Well, not everybody probably thinks like that. David Patton, turning 76 today. He was the lead singer of Pilot, which I don't know what we got here. Maybe it's magic, maybe it's not. There you go. Thitoff, is that a banger to you, Toe Tapper?
It is something. If I'm driving and it comes on, I won't turn it off. I
There you
will
go.
not seek it out, though.
I will not seek it out. Maybe you'll seek out a little Quiet Riot. Born on this date, 1955. Kevin Dubrow.
Dead.
That's why I said when he was born.
Come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your boys. We'll get wild, wild, wild. Wild, wild, wild. So you think
What a great song that is.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Whenever they played, they probably had to open and close with that one and also played somewhere in the middle.
Oh, of course. I mean, you got to play the hits.
Yes.
And that is their biggest hit.
Mental
by far.
Health would be their second one, I think.
There you go. Gabrielle Union, I believe she's married to Dwayne Wade, turning at 53 today. Travis Henry, University of Tennessee and NFL running back, turning 47. And the 7-time Olympic medalist Amanda Beard, turning 44.
Amanda Beard is in lane 5 and in third. Here she comes, though.
Amanda Beard's bringing it up. I don't know if she can do it. She's going to fall the line. But Amanda likes the challenge. Once again, look at her stroke. Coming way out of the water. She's pulling her hips forward, trying to skip along. She's much lighter than Penny Hayes. And at this moment, Dan, your legs, your arms, everything feels so heavy.
15 meters left. Haynes tried to hold Beard off again. She did it in the 100. Can she do it in the 200? Beard giving it everything she's got. She'll take the silver again. Haynes will win gold for the second time, an Olympic record time. 225.41. Beard, 225.75.
At one point, she held the world record in the 200-meter breaststroke as well. I was hoping she'd pull out the victory there, Thitoff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I knew that she didn't.
Yes.
That wasn't live.
That was not live. And if you didn't watch it yet, sorry for the spoiler alert.
Turning at 42 years young today, I got a chance to see him last night and tell him happy birthday. National champion in Buckeye, Mr. Maurice Claret.
Center fakes the handoff, rolling, looking, throwing right side, and it's caught, intercepted by Sean Taylor in the end zone, bringing it up the left side, and he's still moving and taken down at his own 28.
We got the ball back.
Football fumbled at the end of the play.
We got it back.
Ohio State's got it. Ohio State has it inside the Miami 30 on an exchange twice on the same play.
Great hustle by number 13, Maurice Claret, coming from behind to take the ball away.
What a damn play.
Great play. Listen, look at Jim all over it, you know.
Yeah, I know. He knew it before Keels did.
You know, getting that defense fired up here in a minute, too, after that.
I'm telling you, that is the most magical Ohio State season of my life.
Yeah.
What you guys went through that year, God, you guys should have lost like 7 games.
Of course.
But the way you guys went through and did that, the Holy Buckeye, you know, all that stuff. Good Lord, what a season.
You'll let it ride on the money line, Thitoff.
I know.
Might not be working right now.
I wouldn't be working right now. If this show's called the Jeff Thitoff Show, like that Green guy should have done, I'd have a lot more job security.
There you go, Peter Green. And then turning at 38 today, it's amazing that he is this old, Mr. Andy Dalton.
See the red zone issues that this offense has had this season. Play action for Dalton. Up the seam. It is caught for the touchdown. Tyler Boyd. as Dalton throws him a strike.
I'm surprised he's not older than 38, really.
What do you mean?
I think he's old. When you said only 38, I was thinking, I thought he was probably
against me.
I understand that, Bob. I'm just saying, I thought that it feels to me like he's older than 38. And by the way, some quarterbacks age a different way. Like, he might be 38 in human years, but in quarterback years, I think he's 47.
He looks good.
He doesn't look bad.
He's still got the fire red hair. I mean, it's not like he's gray or balding at all.
I think he probably colors it. I think he colors to keep up
I don't
the
know if
image.
you can get that kind. I don't know if you can buy that color in a box.
You people, Bob, with your NFL money, you guys can buy whatever you want.
Most dudes don't color their hair.
Well, okay.
At least guys that I know. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there, but
Emmitt Smith, Walt Frazier.
Walt Frazier said he's the reason Pat Riley's a coach.
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh, because he played with him and
played against him.
They played together in New York, too, I think.
But when Riley was with the Lakers, he goes, that's the reason Riley's a coach. It was an unbelievable line. While he was there calling the game. Some holidays and observances today. It is International Internet Day, as the first interweb got going there in 1969. National Cat Day, which is why Bodie took the day off.
Of course it is.
To go take care of his sister's cat. Oatmeal Day, how about that as well, and World Stroke Day. So don't you go dying on me, Thitoff. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances. For this date, Wednesday, October 29th, the 302nd day of the year, and 63 days remaining in this 2025.
Well done, as always, General. The song Magic came on. It made me think of something when we played that, Bob.
Oh, you got a thought.
Yes. Not a Fitbit, but it's a thought. When it comes
Tito's
to
takes.
do you like magicians? Like, do you ever watch magic? Like, when you stumble upon,
I like magicians.
I don't ever look for magic stuff.
Have I ever paid to go to a magic show? No.
Okay.
Well, I watch different things. I mean, I prefer to call them illusionists.
Right.
The sleight of hand, if you will. But I don't dislike them. I enjoy it. I find them entertaining.
I enjoy it, but then I get upset because I can't figure out how they did it.
Okay, well, that's part of the illusion.
I understand, Bob, but because some of the crap they do is really amazing.
Yeah, it's a sleight of hand.
But how do you use sleight of hand and make a card disappear? That part I don't understand. When they show you that big cage, it's empty, and then all of a sudden, 3 people pop out of it.
I don't know. Listen, that's why to you, it's magic.
But I want them to show me. I want to know how it gets done.
Then that's where the magic disappears. They're not going to reveal their tricks.
I know they're not going to because they're not supposed to.
Why don't you go to magician school?
Oh, that's a good idea, Bob. That'd be a great way. I should. I want to learn. If you're a magician out there listening right now, @Fit Happens where you can find me on Twitter, Bob, and I would love to
reach out to me outside of the chat.
Outside of the chat, we'll talk, and if you would teach me some magic, I think that'd be a great trait, a great trick to have, if you would, a great feather in my cap. Would be if I could do magic.
Yeah, I mean it's a great icebreaker.
Yes.
If you can perform the sleight of hand, it does probably take some skill. I don't know that anybody and everybody could do it. So
my hands aren't as steady as they used to be, so I don't know if I could. If you're watching my hands, they're going to shake a little more probably than other people's, and I don't know if it would impede my ability to.
You don't have to. How many magicians just sit there and hold their hands still?
Well, I'm saying you're watching the hands, though, and I don't know if I have the. But you also have to have
moving
but you also have to be able. You have to have the dexterity and the.
And that's what I said. There is some skill to it that I don't know if everybody can be an elite magician, rather.
There's your poll question for today, Isaiah. Is it tougher to be an elite magician or elite musician? That's a good one right there, Bob. We stumbled upon that one. Coming up next, the NFL team being brilliant or short-sighted. We'll talk about that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, does this sound like you were every step or reach is a reminder that it hurts? The pain is there. A reminder of what you're not able to do, how far you've drifted from that life you used to have and love where you didn't have the pain. Listen, if this is you, If this is a family member, you need to talk to them about it. You need to do what I did and go to QC Kinetics. They've got the answers for you, the relief without the scalpel, without the surgery. At QC Kinetics, they tap into your body's own regenerative power. The damaged tissue, it can be healed by itself. It's not science fiction. It's your body's comeback story. The very cells in your body can help you get healed with no surgery, no pills, no long recovery, just remembering how to move and feel alive again so you can golf, hike, do all the stuff you love to do. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus or 380-208-4544. They have offices all over Columbus, so be sure to check them out at 380-208-4544.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence. We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine, and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum. Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried. Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bobby, Cincy Buck in the chat said I'd make a better clown than a magician.
You know what? I think they're on the Venn diagram. I think there are clowns that perform magic, so maybe you could be a magic performing clown.
I like making kids laugh.
Sure. Make me a bicycle clown.
Exactly. I wouldn't do balloon animals, or that's hacky. They're balloon things like that, Bob. Lamar Jackson is going to play. It's a Thursday game this week against the Dolphins for the Ravens. So a short week. He was the number 2 quarterback, listed as the number 2 quarterback for Sunday's win over the Bears. The Ravens now 2-5, and all of a sudden, with what's going on in the very, 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 that's right, 3 very bad AFC North, the Ravens are very much in contention now. As we sit here today, you've got the Steelers still on top, but they're not playing like a team on top of the division. They're currently sitting at 4-3. Bengals 3-5, Ravens 2-5, Browns 2-6. So Baltimore's got the struggling, bad Miami Dolphins this week on the Thursday game, like I mentioned. Do you think that are they taking unnecessary risk by playing Lamar Jackson this week when they could, I think, beat the Dolphins with?
Didn't they play him last week?
Who played
Lamar?
No, Lamar didn't play last week. He was number 2 quarterback. Huntley played last week in the win against the Bears, which was a nice win for them. I thought they would lose that game without Jackson, and they ended up dominating the Bears. They won 30-16. I should say dominate. Scored their last touchdown. The Ravens score was like less than 2 minutes left, but they won 30-16. So when I heard that they were play Lamar, I thought, why not rest Lamar again? Get him another 10 days off before he comes fully back. The fact he's number 2 quarterback means he's probably healthy. He's healthy.
He could have went in if he needed to play.
Right, but is it necessary to You know, if Lamar
Did
Jackson,
you watch the Dolphins last weekend?
I did not watch the Dolphins last weekend.
They
no.
won.
Yeah, they're 2-6.
I'm not asking about the record. They won last weekend and they won big. After getting smoked by Cleveland,
they killed the Falcons.
They killed the Falcons.
34-10. Yep.
So I'm saying. So there are no homecoming games in the NFL. Like, you think you can just roll out there and beat Miami? I think Atlanta probably thought that, and they got blasted.
Do you think if Miami had lost that game, it would change the decision to play Lamar or not?
Probably not. When your players are healthy, you play them.
Okay.
Like, and that's the reality of kind of what you ultimately do. I mean, there might be people that say, well, you know, should they be playing him, should they not? Well, if he's not healthy, you're not playing him. But you're getting your guys out there. He's had enough time. If he's not healthy, then you don't play him.
Well, then why wouldn't you, if you have him listed as the number 2 quarterback on Sunday?
Yeah.
Which means he could have played on Sunday. If he could have played, why wouldn't you start him Sunday?
Well, because I think you would have him ready to go in case of an emergency. He probably couldn't run as well as he needed to, but he could go out there and play quarterback. You don't have to run to play quarterback. Now, what makes him special is the fact that he can run, and you want to make sure you can utilize his legs. But I think him going out there, he would have been able to probably be a shell of what he could have been, but I don't know if he could have been exactly all that he needed to be. But if you're going to start him, you would think that you'll have your full complement of plays that you can run.
When you look at this AFC North, Bob, and the Steelers are clearly struggling, I'm curious, you know, the Bengals had a really good opportunity to get another win this week when they played the Jets, and the winless Jets beat them. But what's more surprising to you, the Bengals win over the Steelers or the Bengals loss to the Jets?
It's a great question. Probably the Bengals beating the Steelers in the manner of which they did, with Joe Flacco being there for like a week.
Right.
Not even. The way they lost to the Jets, they scored 38 points.
Right.
I mean,
you're going against a Jets team with Justin Fields, who was going to be benched, it looked like.
But their defense not being great, that's not news to anybody. Like, their defense is bad, and they know that it's bad. They don't care that it's bad. They were going to let Hendrickson hold out and not play at all. And thankfully he's back, but then he got hurt. Like, they've got issues there. But their defense isn't any good. So it's more surprising that they were able to beat Cleveland, beat Pittsburgh, I mean, than the fact that they went out and lost to the Jets, giving up 39 points when they scored 38.
It's funny that if they would have won that game, they'd be 4-4 right now, and a half game behind the Steelers, and already having a win in hand against the Steelers would have been huge for them. Their next few games, they've got the Bears this week at home. Then they're at Pittsburgh. They have a week off. Then they're at Pittsburgh. Then they host the Patriots, at the Ravens, at the Bills. It's a tough road right there for the Bengals if they're going to make any kind of charge. I'm not sure where they're at on the Joe Burrow's rehab status. The Ravens are in a great spot right now because, for one, the fact the Steelers have lost 2 games in a row and their defense can't stop anybody. But the Ravens now are at the Dolphins, at the Vikings, at the Browns, host the Jets. So you would think that should be 3 and probably 4 very winnable games. The Viking game, who knows with them, with J.J. McCarthy coming back now, but certainly 3 winnable games when you got the Dolphins, the Browns, and the Jets. And they get the Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. And who knows where the Bengals are going to be at that point before they close out. Their last 3 are Patriots, Packers on the road, and then at the Steelers to end the season. But the Ravens, I think, you know, it's funny, a couple weeks ago when they only had the one win when they were sitting there, and they were still considered I think they were close to the Steelers' odds. Or
The betting line was telling you what they thought would happen. Like the futures will always say the quiet part out loud because they take into account the schedule of what things look like moving forward, teams coming back down to earth, all these different things. And so while Cincinnati has made a lot of headway, I believe their schedule gets tougher and Baltimore's gets significantly easier. However, they do play each other
twice,
you said, down the stretch at the end of the season. So we'll see, what they're able to do.
Yeah, this is setting up exactly what the NFL wants to do with their scheduling as far as the fact you've got the Ravens still are playing the Bengals twice and the Steelers twice, and those games right there will be the ones that will decide who ends up winning the division.
Well, that's why they started backloading all those division games.
I love the fact they make the last week of the regular season, it's all division games no matter what. And so we're almost always guaranteed to have a game, at least several games with playoff implications and division implications there. If you had to pick a team right now, I'm not going to go the violent route with the gun to the head thing like we've done before, chopping off a hand or losing a child in this deal. Who would you say you think will win the AFC North if everyone stays healthy and Burrow does come back, say, with a few weeks left in the season?
Well, I mean, those are a lot of ifs.
I know.
There. I'll just eliminate all of those ifs and say, who do I think is going to win? I still think Pittsburgh wins it.
Think Pittsburgh wins it, okay.
Yeah, they've got they'll be okay. Their defense, which they've spent a ton of money on, has to play better.
I think I read that they've spent the most money, they've had the highest paid defense.
Yeah, of course.
Like for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been that way.
And they're getting toasted on the back end, and they have 3 first-round corners that have been guys that have all been good.
Right.
And they struggle to guard people. It's ridiculous.
They did make a trade yesterday. The Steelers did. They got Kyle Duggar, the safety from New England. They traded him. And let's see, they got a 7th-round pick in the deal, a 6th-round pick from the Steelers, and they gave up Duggar and a 7th-round pick. This is all next year's draft. And the Patriots are covering part of his remaining salary. So they were both starters under Bill Belichick, and they've been backups, though, under Mike Vrabel, I guess, since he has arrived on the scene. And speaking of the Patriots, boy, I tell you, it's amazing what he's been able to do with that team, what Vrabel's done. I mean, they're 6-2 right now. They have the second-best record in the AFC, tied with the Broncos for that. But the fact that you looked at how much they struggled under Belichick his last couple of years, and then 1 year under Mayo.
Well, they had stripped everything down after Tom left. I mean, they had geared up. They were in cap hell, and they had pushed all the chips in. And so, the last couple of years, you had to purge your roster. And last year, that's why this year they had a ton of cap space. They had draft picks, and they went in. And now Drake May playing well helps. They drafted, you think, the right quarterback. But Vrabes has coached those guys up. But they also did have a nice substantive talent infusion with that team as well.
If the season ended today, your first round, the Patriots would be hosting the Chiefs in the first round. The Chargers would be at Denver. Buffalo would be in Pittsburgh with the Colts getting the bye. I still think, when it's all said and done, I think it's going to go through Kansas City still somehow. The Ravens are going to make a run there, but I think
because they're healthy, they got all their receivers back. They got all their guys back. Travis Kelce's playing, or not. Yeah, Travis Kelce's playing well.
I said Jason Kelce the other day too, and I'm trying to think which Kelce was.
I had to remember. I'm like,
which one is it again? Yeah, the Kelce boys. So yes, the fact they're back healthy, Mahomes looks great. He's not putting up the eye-popping numbers, but he doesn't have to anymore.
Doesn't matter. You're winning games.
Yeah.
His objective is to win games. That's all he cares about. No, statistics are for losers when it comes to that stuff. He wants to go out there and win Super Bowls. And this, maybe this is Kelce's last year, maybe it's not, but he looks a lot better now than he did at the beginning of the season, and it's because he has a supporting cast that's out there now.
When people make the argument, they do the argument about LeBron or Jordan. There's a lot of people that no matter what LeBron does, he will not be able to surpass Jordan. Can Mahomes surpass Brady as far as the greatest quarterback of all time, do you think? Or is it possible for him to do it, you think?
I think it is, but we're talking we'll talk in a decade. That's how much longer he has to go to be able to put that together for 20 years, which is what Tom did, putting him near the top of the NFL each and every year. And Tom didn't have eye-popping numbers, and it wasn't like he was first-team All-Pro. I mean, Manning's stuff is significantly more impressive, his personal accolades, but what they did is they literally went to the Super Bowl every other year. And he won it every third year.
Right.
While he played.
Yeah, and the good thing I think also works in Brady's favor is the fact that the quarterbacks that were around his peers at that time, one being Peyton Manning, they got to play each other a couple times every year, 3 times a year.
They're really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I don't know if Josh Allen is Mahomes' Peyton Manning, his rival kind of thing. I wish they played more often they do, but they seem to meet each other in the playoffs almost every year. But
they play as much as Manning Tom did. It wasn't like they were in the same division.
You're right. Yeah, they weren't. They were on the schedule. Seemed like every year though.
Well,
they play each
because
other.
the way all the flex scheduling works, if you win your division, you'll play the other division winners, and those guys always seem to win it.
All right, coming up next, we'll do some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever. Wow. That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. That means more time to be artists, prom dates, world travelers, and moms. We are Blood Cancer United, the world's leading organization focused solely on blood cancer research, support, and advocacy. We do the most for more people with blood cancer, so people with blood cancer can do more of whatever they want. Blood Cancer United. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Tito, Bobby, Isaiah with you. And now it's Isaiah's time to shine.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Good morning, Isaiah. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well this morning, fellers. Let's kick it off here talking about Terry Rozier. So the same year Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier was alleged to have manipulated his performance in an NBA game as part of gambling schemes, he was facing an $8 million tax lien from the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. Tito, is this a reasonable reason for Rozier to do what he has done?
Yeah, I love that.
Let's see. $8.2 million is what he was had to lean on him for there. And look, the guy's making $25 million a year in salary, Bob. It doesn't excuse it. No, it might explain it why he did it as well, but he had just signed he signed in 2021. He signed a 4-year, $96.3 million contract with the Hornets, and then traded to Miami on January 23rd, 2024. He has made, including this season, he's already made $161 million, Bob. from basketball.
Well, based upon that, he probably should have been paying about $80 million in taxes, and obviously he was about $8 million shy.
Yes.
So of that $25 million deal, he's probably netting out 13. So he was paying over half of that in taxes that he needed to do, and you know what? Maybe he didn't feel obliged. So what I always say, what you want to do is really compound one mistake with another, and so you didn't pay your taxes, so you're going to fix games in order to generate the money you need to help pay the taxes. So that makes sense.
The records from Broward County also showed a construction lien filed against him for about $271,000, it says here in the article, August 2022. He did pay back $250,000 of it, but the lien was for a variety of work being done on his $5.3 million home.
Yeah, man. I mean, the guy's got bills.
Do you think that we're going to have more and bigger stories than this when it comes to sports gambling?
I think there's more with the basketball stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had that come out, I think there's probably more things that they've been digging and looking at it. Basketball is one of the few sports because you have two-way players, and these guys play 82 games, and there's a lot of games that I'm not sure aren't being fixed anyway. I mean, there's a lot of decisions that James Harden makes on a basketball court, which leads me to believe he might be on the take, and of various other players, just because of the recklessness of how they shoot and their lack of intensity anywhere on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, I have no idea whether they just don't care or whether they're trying to lose or trying to manipulate their stats.
There were 30 unders based on bet on Rozier for, I think it was over a couple of games, but 30 unders.
We should have took some overs too in there,
30 unders, and all 30 of them hit. Those unders hit that were placed based on, because Rozier left a game early citing an injury.
Yeah.
And so he did that.
A blister.
Yeah, whatever it was. Or, no, my knee doesn't feel right, that kind of thing, or whatever. You just get out of the game. But
I love it.
Yeah, this is disappointing as a basketball fan to know that some of this stuff goes on. But I understand. I'm not surprised it goes on.
Do you think it's always gone on and we're just more aware of it now?
Probably so. Yeah, because before you were placing bets with bookies usually where there's no electronic record of a kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where there was no no receipts.
Now it's easy to catch people doing this.
You can do it.
Before it was probably significantly harder. And so I said, it's always looked like there have been guys on the take to me for the last 20 years.
Yeah. What do you have next for stars there?
The Saints will start rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck against the LA Rams with Spencer Rattler remaining on the bench. Bobby, is it over for Rattler and NO?
They never really get started for him. I mean, just because he was the starting quarterback. Have they won? They won one game?
They've got one win. Right now, they would have the number one pick in the draft, though. After that loss, after the Jets beat the Bengals now, the Saints would now be the number one pick.
There you go. I don't know if they were ever viewing him as a potential answer anyway. Unless he would have went out and played great this year. But, I mean, I think people have seen enough of Spencer Rattler to realize that Spencer Rattler isn't the answer.
He's completed 68% of his passes this year. 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Not terrible.
He's been sacked 18 times.
That's not good.
I'm surprised that they are moving, that they're not going to play, that they're having Tyler Shuck start now, just because it's a lost season already, and I don't think Tyler Shuck is the answer, but
you got to find out what he can do. If you're going to have one of the top 5 pick, which I don't know if they'll be number 1, but I think it's safe to say they're going to have a top 5 pick.
Sure.
They're not winning more than 3 or 4 games. So you've got to figure out, do you need to draft a quarterback, or can this guy be the guy? So, let's get him out there. Let's see what he can do.
This is the same thing they have in Cleveland, though, right? I mean, same situation. No. I mean, they need to find out what they have in Shedeur Sanders before the season's over.
Yeah, they got plenty of time.
Yeah.
I mean, but, you've got to find out about your young quarterbacks. They're trying to find out about Dylan Gabriel. I think they know enough now, or at least in the next couple of games you will, and then it's time to take a flyer on Shedeur, just same way it's Tyler Shaw. Put him in there and see what he can do.
I can't. Do you think that the Browns have seen enough by Dylan Gabriel, seen enough of him to know what they have in him, or do you think that they're still?
They drafted him in the 3rd round, so they're going to make certain.
Yeah,
I think you probably have seen enough to know that he can't carry an offense. If you put good players around him in a competent line, I think he can maybe do it, but he hasn't obviously played great to any point this year.
He's completing 60% of his passes. He's got 5 touchdowns and 2 picks. He's been sacked 11 times. His QB rating is 78.4, which is better than what Flacco did there. Flacco had the 2 touchdowns and 6 picks. His rating was 60.3 when he was with Cleveland. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't believe Gabriel's a franchise quarterback. And so, yeah, I think the Browns really should be making a better effort to hopefully see what they can get in Shedeur Sanders before they decide. Because they have the 2 first-round picks next year. They'll certainly be in a position where they can get probably the quarterback they want to get.
When you hit November, it's time to start looking ahead. If you're not in the mix, and Browns and Saints, they're not in the mix by any stretch.
Yeah.
Next one we got here, Ole Miss got a win over Oklahoma 34-26, and Lane Kiffin could not resist but take a shot at Brent Venables, sarcastically accusing the coach of a hot take in its evaluation of last weekend's game. Venables said Sunday that he thought Oklahoma was the better team. This is what Lane said. That's an interesting take. That's a hot take that they have the better team. Kiffin said, I wouldn't have thought that people watching would say that. I felt that, one, we won at their place, and whether that, as a defensive coach, you would normally wish for and won by 8 points. And I think we left a lot out there. I think we should have won by a couple of scores. So I don't know how he evaluated that game and how they were the better team. Tito, is Lane Kiffin edgy and fun or a bit arrogant?
Yes. I think he's both. I think he's edgy, fun, and I think he's a lot arrogant. I think that he is less arrogant than he was 10 years ago. I believe he said now, Bob, he's like 11 years sober or something like that. I mean, he's not 11 years sober. 11 years ago, he said he's a different place. He's sober now. He's been sober for a couple years of what it is. But I don't know. But Kiffin, though, he's done one of the better jobs of reputation rehab that I've seen.
He's had the full career arc, like the full circle. I mean, he was the young phenom.
Right.
Took the Raiders job.
32 years old when he did. 33.
Super young, defied Al Davis. They fire him. He goes to Tennessee, names his son Knox, whatever, never leaving. Next
Rocky.
year,
Named him Rocky.
Rocky or whatever, yeah. Rocky or not, Then the next thing you know, he is on a plane to Southern California. He's coaching USC. He gets fired there. And then he kind of wanders in the wilderness for a minute and goes to the Nick Saban rehabs, coach of coaching rehab, and then he ends at Florida Atlantic, and he's been at Ole Miss now for, 6 years?
6 years, yeah.
He's done a great job there. He's endeared himself to that campus. He has put them nationally on the map. He is the hottest coaching candidate. And I don't know that he leaves. I think he's edgy and fun, but he's a likable guy now. I think he is just arrogant enough to make himself entertaining, but he's not. He doesn't take himself too seriously, so it's not ridiculous.
He had the job, Florida Atlantic? Is that where he went?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't he? He had the job while he was still the OC at Alabama. Mm-hmm. And then didn't Saban say, we don't want you in the bowl game here?
He said, you can't focus on both. You need to go.
And Ohio State has a similar thing with that, too, right? With
who?
Who was the coach that left and was stuck around, though, for Indiana? Was it... I think do you want to talk about Isaiah? Do you remember or not? There was a coordinator or coach Ohio State had that had taken a coaching job but stuck with Ohio State through the playoffs or something a couple years, or through the. Oh, Bob, now I got to look.
Kevin Wilson?
Might have been Kevin Wilson.
Before he took the Tulsa job?
That's what it was, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, similar situation there, though, right? Where
it's any situation where a coach gets a job and they're on a good team, they are probably still coaching and playing. Their team is still playing.
Right.
And so it's usually a head coach's discretion, and that goes down to relationship with the coach. And can you feel they can adequately do their job, how they're being able to divide their priorities at that point, and who's going to replace them. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I don't think Ohio State's ever had a guy be asked to leave by Ryan Day or Urban Meyer. Mark D'Antonio coached us in our Fiesta Bowl when he had the Cincinnati job, and then left after the game and coached Cincinnati. And took over that program.
I remember wondering about that, though, with Wilson, though, if it was going to be I was surprised that he stuck around with Ohio State, I guess I should say, just because and maybe they operate things differently. I would think that things happen more, it'd be more likely, I would think, that things would happen the way Saban did.
You don't just want to abandon your team.
Right.
And your head coach. And if you have a good relationship, what do you want me to do? I'll stay around. I can do both. You're going to start preparing guys, and obviously you're not going to be out recruiting for them, but I can coach this team through this game, and if you're in the playoff, you want to make sure that you have a chance to win it.
Rumors were floated out there that maybe Hartline's a candidate for Penn State. Do you think he would? Do you think he is I'm sorry. Of course, he's a candidate.
Yeah, I think
he's a candidate for any job.
He could be a candidate for any job. I heard Bo talking about this yesterday. I don't know that they hire somebody without head coaching experience. That's the problem with some of those jobs. Would he take it if offered? I don't know. Will they interview him? Possibly, but I would be surprised with how quickly they want to win. Hiring a first-time head coach, while it might be, and if you think that guy might be the best in the long run, and maybe Hartline is that guy, like maybe that's real with him. However, you're going to experience some on-the-job training and some painful growth that happens.
Right.
I mean, look at some of the things that happened with Ryan early in his tenure. You look at Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. Like, those are guys who their first head coaching job was a massive job, and you just don't know what you don't know, and you mismanage some things as you go, and it's a lot more painful to learn at a place like that than it is, to learn at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, see, I would think that with Penn State, I agree, there's pressure to win right now. But I would not, and although Hartline has no head coaching experience, I would not put him in the same bucket as somebody else who has no head coaching, just because of how much success he's had recruiting and coaching.
Are you going to hire a coach that isn't successful?
No. What I'm saying is that when you look at, you talk about like guys who have no head coaching experience.
Yeah.
I rank Hartline above some of those guys just because of how much success. I'm saying, look at the coordinator. I can't think of what top of my head, but I'm saying, but I think I think there's if you have the two buckets, though, a bucket of coordinators, I think that Hartline's in a little bit of a different bucket than people that have no.
I mean, maybe. But the reality is he doesn't have head coaching experience. That's not a knock on him. That's just part of his resume, And so there's other coordinators out there. I don't care how good you are at coordinating until you are the head guy and you have to sit in the big chair and answer the questions after the press conference. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you've never run a program before.
That is it for the quick hitters. Coming up next, Ryan Day spoke yesterday. We will hear what he had to say. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water, the school she can't attend most days, her little brother's belly laugh, her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. It all connects. But at Child Fund, so do we, through everything we do, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Because we need each other. Learn more at childfund.org.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned, so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans adjust back to civilian life. Through specialized programs, they begin healing their bodies and minds while regaining a sense of camaraderie. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS-FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bobby, Tito, Isaiah with you here. Second hour of the program. Oh, Coaster Bob time here. Sure. Boat, right? Boat. Bobby, we are halfway through the week now. Bodie is back.
Running downhill, Thitoff.
Yes,
That's
we
the
are.
goal.
Yes, we are. Someone in the chat there was Bill, I believe, is when we brought up the fact that Tom Herman took the Houston job at State for the 2014 championship run. That's true on that one. I'd forgotten about him. Ryan Day spoke yesterday, and here he was talking about the defense. Despite losing 8 starters, why the defense is better or has gotten better. Here's Ryan Day.
You have to build trust. And how do you build trust? I think, for Matt coming in, he had a certain level of credibility because of his past and his resume. But when he came in and he let his personality go and he connected with the people in the building, I think that's, early on what gave him some early wins. And then, we played well early in the season, and there was belief there, and then there was confidence built in. That combined with Sonny, Caleb, KJ, Caden, IGB, guys who had been at it before that can bring guys along and make them better, which I think is a sign of a really good player when they make others better. And I think that has had a huge part of this. When Jalen's next to Caleb, he feels stronger. When Lorenzo's next to Jermaine, they feel stronger together. When Arvell's next to Sonny, he feels stronger. Now that we're halfway through the season, I think that we know what we have with these guys, and they have confidence, and now they're bringing other people along. But then the other part of it is the staff. These guys work hard, and Matt puts together the plan and does a great job. But those are the guys that are on the front lines fighting the battles every day to make sure that their guys are great out champions.
Not that I wouldn't call this a great Bobby, but if
Let's hear it.
If there was one thing I don't, lacking is the wrong word. One thing when I'm watching a game though, I don't, and it's probably by design, so you can correct me on that, but I feel like there's not a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
What does that mean?
That I don't think I thought they would be putting up gaudier sack numbers than they are. I don't feel.
I know that's not by design.
That's what I just said. Yes, maybe it's by design. And that's what I was going to ask you, because you're obviously around the program quite a bit during practices, and you watch the game with a different.
They don't really send pressure a lot. Like they don't rush. They rush, 4 guys a decent amount. They'll bring 5 some, but like very rarely does Matt do max pressure where you have 6 and 7 guys coming. Like he is a. I wouldn't say risk averse, but he does it in some unique ways. But they do get they've had a decent number of sacks. They have 5 or 6 a game, but there are games where they have 3 and 4 sacks, and a lot of teams that just get the ball out quickly because they realize they can't hold up.
Do you have anything when you're watching the games now, and you've seen, we're obviously well into the season now? Is there something you've seen defensively, then you think, what? Ohio State needs to get better at this on the defensive side of the ball.
There's some situational things that, there's been times where they've struggled a little bit, but they've been pretty good on third down. Their red zone defense has been pretty good. They've been pretty good, really good in the short yardage stuff. I don't know. I mean, people maybe get upset that they move the ball a little bit from time to time and they put together some drives, but there are no glaring weaknesses that I see or things that I would say they need to improve upon.
If you were scheming up a plan to attack this defense, if you were an OC of an opposing team, what would you try to attack?
As far as how I'm going to attack them?
Yes.
I mean, if you look at what they run, I mean, they do a pretty tough job. They make you abandon the run, first and foremost. I mean, a little bit of what Brett Bielema did. I mean, I think when you play a team that's really good, they have really talented players, generally your thought process is, hey, how can I spread these guys out? How can I isolate them so I don't have to beat 11? I can just beat 1. And then you try to do that with some speed and tempo. But to do that, you've got to make certain that you're going to be converting and getting first downs. And this is the problem. And this is why complementary football is so important, where Ohio State plays with a slower tempo on offense, thus exposing their defense less. And so if you choose to go up-tempo and you go 3 and out, you'll be on the field for 30 to seconds to a minute of game time.
Right.
And then your defense is then back out there going against a very good Ohio State offense. So it's easy to say that and say, yeah, this would be great. This is what we should do. But if you aren't able to execute at the level which you need to, then all of a sudden you're going to be in a really bad spot.
Here is Ryan Day talking about what he tells the running backs and how he looks at some of the stats with running backs. Here we go.
You know, I say to the running backs a lot, like the first 4 yards are for the team, and then the rest of it, you know, you got to go trust your God-given ability. You know, some of the things in the last game, you know, they put an extra guy in the box, and the RPO led us to throw the ball. Those don't show up in the running statistics, but when you have a quarterback who has the ability to run, you saw him pull. We read an end. We'll do some more of that with Julian. But you know, he also can read some off the line defenders, and so. Like when you look at the running statistics, you know, we look at them just a little bit different because, you know, if they're leaving one-on-one on the outside and put an extra guy in the box and we're hitting, you know, an 8-yard hitch to Jeremiah, that's really the run game, you know, because it complements. So to answer your question, yeah, it's been good. It hasn't been great. We need to get better at it. We want to create more explosives.
I think it's fair. Good, not great, is how I would probably grade the running game as well.
Well, I think part of like what Ryan said, that there are things that they can do better, and believe me, they've been working to develop some of that, and they're still trying to find their rotation. They've still been moving guys around, and you see, we've watched more of Isaiah West the last couple of weeks. Does his role continue to grow with the team? They're still kind of working on that right guard spot a little bit. We've seen a little more of Padilla in there, and you know, some of that might be a function of matchup of, you know, who they think could be better on any given week. But to his point, like that RPO game, so Ryan said it's so important to make your layups in the pass game. And because in the pass game, that 6-yard out or the 8-yard out, that's, you know, part of an RPO, the screen game, like all of those things are just extensions of the run game with how they operate and what they choose to call it and how they're moving forward. And so those things, as Ryan said, kind of also encapsulated, so it's not just handing the ball off to a running back behind you.
Ethan Grunkmeyer will be the quarterback for Penn State this week. He of Olentangy High School here locally. Yeah. Here is Ryan Day speaking about Ethan.
He's a very talented young man. You know, anybody you speak to up in the Olentangy High School or in the area growing up, he's got a great family. He's a great leader and you know, very intelligent, competitive player that has a bright future in the game. And you know, this is just his second start, but you can see the talent on the field. You can see, you know, that he's got leadership skills, and he obviously had a great career here while he was in high school. And you know, think very, very highly of him.
Not the best situation to be coming into to make your second college football start.
Yeah, it's going to be loud. There's going to be obviously nerves. You're coming back home. I'm sure he has to get a lot of tickets. Like he probably didn't anticipate starting in Ohio State this season. But with Drew Aller getting injured, like that happened. And this, I don't know when Penn State plays Ohio State again in Ohio Stadium because they're not playing each other on an annual basis anymore, and they go off the schedule for a couple of years. This might be his only opportunity to do it. So there'll be some excitement. There'll be some nerves with it. Obviously, he's a very talented player. He wouldn't be playing at Penn State. But the job is now for Matt Patricia is how do you make him uncomfortable? You know, what do you do? How do you confuse him? Fronts, coverages, stopping the run, doing all those things. And then, hey, push it back on him and say, go make plays.
This is Ryan Day talking about his familiarity with Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator, obviously, for Penn State, and how that familiarity might help Ohio State.
Yeah, we look at everything, and, you know, I know they do too. Sometimes when you have so many years against somebody, you know, you have so much stuff that you can get yourself distracted. It's going to come down to fundamentals in this game, as we know. He will definitely have some curveballs. He always does. So we have to identify what those are early on and then go from there.
Is there an advantage either way on this, Bob? Like Day knowing what Knowles likes to do defensively and Knowles knowing what Ohio State tries to do offensively?
Well, I think offensively, with Ohio, first of all, you have better players. In Penn State, they're not running probably to the depth of what Ohio State ran last year. You know, defense is his first year there, and he always talks how it takes 3 years to put your plan in, your scheme in. And the people I tell that to, then you know what? If you can't be running it really well in your second year, then maybe it's a little bit of your scheme and not as much the players. But I think there probably is a little bit more of an inherent advantage with this with Ryan, where Jim Knowles doesn't really adjust his scheme to his players.
Okay.
Ryan, they call an offense based upon the players they have in it and what they're good at. And so this offense, while there are some similarities to it last year, obviously, where you're good dictates kind of who is important and who you get the ball to. And so that changed dramatically because you don't have like Quinshawn and Trey and guys like that. So there's been some evolution of some things that have happened. There's a lot more new guys on this offense. And so there's some new ideas and probably some things that he's never seen before.
When we talked about throughout the season, we've talked about Fickell at Wisconsin, and I've always said that, Fickell, it's not like Fickell all of a sudden forgot how to coach. Fickell's still a damn good head coach. It's just, it's not working out there in Wisconsin for a variety of reasons. Injuries are one of them, but it's not working out necessarily the way, but it's not like Fickell all of a sudden is a bad coach. And it's also, Jim Knowles not all of a sudden a bad defensive coordinator, though Penn State's had some games that have given up a lot of points this year. Rightly or wrongly, Bob, I think people are going to look at this as when they look at what Penn State does defensively versus what Ohio State does defensively in this game, there will be a certain
oh yeah, it's the ex-girlfriend.
Yeah,
Ryan's aware of it. He downplayed it, but he knows who he's going against.
Right.
He knows what people had said about him and kind of how Jim handled his departure and everything that went with that.
The comments about the culture of Penn State being different.
And so Ryan wasn't going to say a lot about that. He's obviously not going to detract from the game and everything going into it. And
sure.
Penn State, like he said, despite the fact that they're struggling a little bit record-wise, like they still have the NFL roster that everybody was talking about. They still have really good players. But make no mistake about it, I think that this game means a lot to Matt Patricia, who was taking over Jim Knowles, who's been really good here, but to show how good he's been, and for Ryan to show you did this with Ohio State players. Now you can play against Ohio State players and see what that looks like to you as well.
Right. Here is, by the way, the defense playing as well as it has this year. Ryan Day talked about Larry Johnson seems re-energized, the defensive line coach.
This style of defense is just a little bit different, so I think it's given him a little bit of a challenge to learn something new. You're seeing it's not just all four down front, although you still see a lot of four down front, so there's still so many things that he teaches that's the same way that it's been his whole career. But he's also getting challenged in other areas, and I think for him it's exciting because it is something a little new, and where he's at in his career, there's so many things that he can bring to the table, but also pick up in terms of new ideas and thoughts. And I think to your point, it has re-energized him.
Did it ever get to a point, Bob, where it felt like it was either Knowles or Larry Johnson, like one of them was not going to be here if both of them were going to be there for long term? You know what I mean?
I don't know if it ever felt like that. People had talked about how they had some differences and things, and I think some of it's just kind of the way that maybe Jim, how he handles stuff with his personality. I don't know if there was ever any massive rift there, but I think there was some philosophical differences. I don't know if it was ever him or me situation moving forward. Ryan gives guys a lot of autonomy, hey, this is your side of the ball. You handle it as you see fit.
And then here's the probably the most important cut we're going to play. This is Ryan Day talking about going to the corn maze with his family during the bye week.
I've read a lot of things on the internet, AI, that are not true. So I would say that it's hitting about 20%, but that actually is true. We actually that's been something we've been doing as a family yearly, and the folks out there at the corn maze had said, every year they do a corn maze and they use somebody different. It was Jack Nicholas one year. they've done Ohio State theme for however many years. And they said, you win a national championship, then, we'll do one of you. And so they held up their end of the bargain. So we went out there for a little while. I tried to be normal as a family. It wasn't normal because the kids were throwing corn at each other when we were in the maze and everything else. But but it was great. It's great to do things like that when we're in the Woody during the season, just to get away even for a couple hours because, we call it the submarine right here. Like, this is where we are. We don't go out in public. We don't do much. But to hear the people there talk about how, we're glad that Ohio State's on a bye week because we got a lot more people here than when they're playing, on Saturdays, there's nobody here. And it's a great opportunity to get an idea of kind of, how important football is in the community. But yeah, it was good to get a little bit of perspective walking away for at least for a couple hours anyways.
I know
you love a good corn maze. Where do you come down on corn mazes?
I've never been in a corn maze. I've never been to a corn maze before.
Ever?
Never been to a corn maze.
You never took the kids where you go pumpkin picking and stuff?
Yeah, we did the apple picking and stuff like that, and
a lot of times the corn maze is kind of part of it.
I don't think this ever was. I can't recall it being the only time is at my grandparents' house out there in Salina, the St. Mary's area there. They had their house backed up. Their backyard backed up to a cornfield. And I remember having to go out there to chase like a football or a wiffle ball or something. And I remember playing tag in somebody else's cornfield. I don't think I've ever been in a corn maze, though, Bob.
I cannot believe that you've lived in Ohio your whole life, that you've never done one corn maze.
I've never done a single corn maze, and maybe I should do one. But he brought up a good point, something that I always think about, though.
That's a good point, that the kids throw corn at each other.
How the bye week affects local businesses.
Oh, dude, no one's going out to the corn. Well, not no one.
Right.
I mean, there are people who do that, but I mean, that's probably the bane of many men's existence is going to the family.
Yeah, that right there. The apple
picking, and
right,
all that stuff. I mean, I did all that when our kids were young. I've zero desire to go do it now. But, it can be fun.
You think about, the fact that, how many weddings got scheduled this year because of the double bye week, 2 bye weeks.
And there's a lot of people that just schedule weddings anyway.
Which is stupid.
It's a terrible idea. You're going to do a wedding in the fall, and you do it on a Saturday. I'm like, don't invite me. Like, I'm not giving you a gift if you do that. If I can't go because of some other reason, but if you're that egocentric that you're going to say, well, it's my wedding, well, yeah, but that's great. You knew that this schedule was out a long time ago, and Ohio State plays football in the fall. So,
but you can also you can use your profession as an excuse not to go to a wedding on a Saturday in the fall.
Just tell people that you're being selfish and stupid. So,
but you could go the more diplomatic approach, though, Bob, and say, "I've got to talk about football all the time."
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell them what it is. You think you're that important that you supersede Ohio State football? There's not 100,000 people that that are coming to your wedding, but there will be 100,000 people at that stadium. So tell me what you think is more important. You're my friend or my relative or whatever it might be, and I love you and I appreciate you, but why not? Well, we wouldn't need married. Wait till do it in the summer, do it in the spring. There's other days.
When we were leaving the flag football game on Saturday at the Horseshoe that the kids played, and I'm walking out there already. I said, all right, did you have fun playing today? He said, yeah. I said, pretty cool playing in the stadium. He said, yeah. And I said, you want to play again someday, maybe when you're in college? And he said, yeah, but I might want to play in a bigger stadium. I'm like, all right, you want to need a bigger stadium?
There's like a handful of those.
That's what, Tennessee, Michigan, right?
Yeah, not many.
Right.
Penn State, that's
right. And then
that's the list.
He said, isn't Oregon bigger? I said, no. Oregon's only got like 60,000 seats already.
Yeah.
Only. And he said, yeah, but I might want to play in a dome, though, too. Soft.
Well, that's he said the only real football is played inside. He said his dad says that all the time.
Watching inside, but you guys playing. That's why the old Dallas Stadium was the best, because the elements.
The worst.
The elements.
Don't get me started on that stadium.
I think it was the best watching.
because it covered the fans, but not the players.
Exactly.
It was a hot air balloon in there in the summer. There was no air movement. Now, the opposing sideline, you would get cooked based upon how the sun came in. No air movement, and then you got rained on. It was like all of the bad and none of the good.
Coming up next, Austin Ward joins us. We'll keep up with the Buckeye Talk with Penn State Week here. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Efforting to get Austin Ward in here. I'm sure we will have him shortly.
What efforts are we making to get Austin on here?
We's a strong word. I texted Austin.
Okay, you did text, so there was a reach out.
There was, yes. I reached out to him yesterday to make sure he was good for today. He said he was. And then I just said, Isaiah's running things. He will add you in after you pop on video.
Yeah.
I have not heard back from him yet, so that's the extent of the efforting, I guess, Bob.
Okay, I mean, that's reaching out, touching me, touching you.
Yes, that's exactly what that is right there.
Which is good. Okay.
Another cut we didn't get to. Here's Ryan Day talking about former Buckeye Nick Mangold.
Unbelievable amount of respect for him as a man and as a football player. And we talk about leaving legacies behind. When you hear that name in this building right here, people stand up straight. This is a guy who had a tremendous amount of character and left a lot of that behind. He didn't just go through this place. He left a work ethic. He left a leadership. He left a discipline, and certainly a body of work on the field. And I know, everybody in Buckeye Nation is mourning his loss, and then obviously what he did in the NFL, and just all the people that were able to have him as a teammate speak so highly of him, and so he's going to be dearly missed.
God, the Rex Ryan thing. Also, we talked about Mangold was pretty special too.
Yeah. With what Rex. I mean, that was Nick. That's who he was as a player and as a person. He was someone that cared a lot about people and cared a lot about football and how it being played the right way. And so, Ryan talked about they're going to do a moment of silence for him and Bob Maggs as well, who was a center in the '80s who passed away last week. His son Mason's part of the team. And I think that they so Nick, talking to some of our former teammates over the last day and a half, and it was tough because I was traveling and getting a bunch of texts and different things of just, well wishes, and I appreciate all of it. But talking to, my former teammates of ours, played with Nick and everything, and just getting the information out to them of, when all the arrangements are going to be. But I was like, Nick was never really a moment of silence type of guy. Just his personality. He was a big personality. And, I had mentioned yesterday over there, I go, we can do the moment of silence. And obviously it's for him and Bob Maggs as well. But I go, can we maybe ask him to get loud for him a little bit? I think that's a little bit more of more Nick's speed. So I think they may throw that at the end. It'll go right into the anthem. And then after that, maybe get anybody that's attending, I think that they're going to try to get it a little bit loud for my guy.
Yep, and that's fantastic, Bob, that you suggested that, and definitely I'm sure it'll be a very moving moment in the stadium there on Saturday when they do that. We are now joined. He is here, Austin Ward. He is one half of the daily podcast, the Beat with Austin and Berm. Austin, good morning. And what is Penn State going to try to do to slow down Ohio State?
Oh, hold on.
And we don't have his sound.
Get some audio going here on the vMix machine, the Mix Master. Press the buttons.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him on here now.
Make the noise happen.
All right, we will work on that. See if we can get Austin going here
I like
shortly.
looking at him.
He is good to look at. He is one of the rare guys that work here that do not have a face for radio. He's got a face for television also. But we'll get him on here momentarily, I guess. And Bob, didn't I read that Urban's going to ring the victory bell?
I saw that as well. So yeah, they have the victory bell ringers, one of the new traditions that they're getting, that they started this year. They had Archie do it. You've had I think Mike Red.
Yeah, Red I think did it. Archie did it. Red did it, and did Coop do it?
Coop did it.
Yeah.
I think one of the games as well. Maybe the second.
I think maybe the second. Yeah.
But yeah, they've been working guys through this, and it's a cool new tradition.
Yeah.
That they're having. And so Urban will be here for Big Noon, and so he'll go up there and ring the victory bell before the game, which will be pretty awesome to get a chance to see him do that. And yeah, it's exciting as they kind of cycle through this, and it's a way to kind of honor guys as they come through here, and some of the notable alums, and then people that have contributed to the program either as coach or player.
I'm telling you, next year I want them to be snarky. I want them to ask Eddie George to ring it when Bowling Green plays here.
I don't know if that's how I don't know if that's how it's going to work.
That would be a snarky thing, though, if they would do that. Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like, I don't know. Do you know if they've had them planned out for the rest of the year? Do you know? Are you privy to that? I'm not going to ask you to reveal it on the air, but do you know if they have that?
The list of guys that, yes, as I was talking, I think there is always some degree of flexibility, but yeah, they had kind of asked people, because you got to plan around it, of who it could potentially be, and they need to be in town. They've got to travel. They've got to get here. They've got to do all that stuff.
You said list of guys.
Well, people.
Okay, I was thinking, there was a certain.
I mean, Katie Smith, I don't think has rang it yet.
I don't think she has. I think that'd be somebody I think would be on the short list.
She would be on that list of people that would do it. So yeah, I use the term guys like.
I know. Yeah.
Generally with that, but yeah, there are a couple of women who would well within their right to be on that list with what they've done for this university.
Yep. Yeah. Someone else, Jeff Rimmer's middle half said Karen Holbrook.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the Karen Holbrook drop of like, hey, when are we going to get her in here?
I can't see that one. Tressel's got to do it, right? Tressel will do it.
Yeah, I think he's a little busy right now. I know that there was overtures, and
he's lieutenant governor.
They were trying to make it work with him, and unfortunately, I don't know if it will this year or not.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of how that works. But I know that those overtures were made, and like I said, he's got a lot going on right now, and Yeah, I mean, heck, he still lives in Akron, drives down here.
Does he live in Akron?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
His wife, they live up there in Akron. And, yeah, I mean, he has to commute to get down here and back. So there's a lot on him. I mean, heck, next week he's flying to New Jersey to bury one of his players. So there's just a lot that he has, obviously, on his plate.
Rimmer also asked if Herbie's dogs would do it. Didn't see that coming. Clark Kellogg, did he ring it? Bill Evans wants to think. I keep thinking Clark might have. I don't know, Clark. They're not now.
I don't know if it was Mike Red and then Clark. I know Clark is, of the names that were thrown out there early on. And listen, this isn't any type of magical list of people. You start running down like the most influential people in Ohio State sports history. I mean, Clark Kellogg is on that list.
Yeah.
You know, Jack Nicklaus is on that list. I mean, you talk about Jim Tressel being on that list. Like, there's people there. Eddie George, as you mentioned. There's Heisman Trophy winners. There are coaches. There are, great players from some other sports that have been really good here. And so, all of those things together, you can look at that and say, that would be someone that you would want to be out there that would appropriately honor the legacy of the program.
When they first announced when Bjork announced some of these changes, how game day was going to go prior to the season starting, and there was a lot of backlash from the traditionalists, like why are you doing the victory bell at the beginning of the game, and why are they making these other changes? So
everybody does that. Like, everyone does this stuff to kind of get the game kicked off and get things going. I think it's a pretty cool deal.
I don't think anything's been like a flop. Like, I don't think you look at one thing that all the changes they made, there wasn't like this really isn't working.
They're trying to still kind of figure out the song situation. I mean, they want to do a song, and like you see some of the other places that play a song, whether it's like Jump Around or Mr. Brightside and different things. And I think they're still trying to hone that in on that.
Yes.
The camp, whatever it's called, camp. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It grows on you, but I don't know if it really has the energy behind it that they were looking for.
Right.
But I think everything else has really hit pretty well.
And the Victory Bell thing, I think, has gone over very well. I think it really has. I think it's a cool thing.
This Victory Bell's been great. They've done some sound amplification, and they moved the band from south to north, which I know a lot of people were upset with, but the band was historically in the north end zone before the renovation. But they have done things to amplify like the sound of the band.
Right.
And so that's cool because people can then hear it a little bit better. And it's like, I think everything is made for a very good in-stadium environment.
And unfortunately, they're not going to get a chance to host a playoff game this year if all goes according to plan, right? Which that kind of bothers me. I wish they would.
It does stink because the playoff game last year here was one of my favorite games that we had. Like, it was probably my favorite game to go to as a fan. And when you win, you get a bye, which is great.
Right.
And I know the coaches probably love it, and that's all well and good, but that part does stink.
Then why do you think last year, the teams that had byes obviously did not?
I think part of it was the structure of who had the bye and who they were playing. Like, the one major upset was, not upset, but Ohio State over Oregon. But, I mean, they played each other to a 1-point standoff at Oregon.
Right.
So thinking that Ohio State might beat them, I don't think it was any big surprise. But then you start looking at some of the other teams that had the byes, who had ASU.
Boise.
ASU, Boise. And Georgia had one. Georgia obviously won and then lost. No. Georgia.
Did Georgia have the bye?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, none of the bye teams, none of them won. And the Georgia-Notre Dame matchup, obviously, that was close. That was good. But their starting quarterback in Carson Beck blew out his elbow.
Right.
So Oregon was the only team that was, healthy, and they got probably the toughest draw of Ohio State. So, the rest of them, I think, were probably underdogs.
So it's more, you think,
I think that was a function of matchups as much as anything.
Not having the extra time off.
Yes.
Because, I mean, obviously, Oregon.
The Russ thing, and people look at Oregon, they weren't ready to go. Ohio State, there was some momentum, I think, that was created with it. But I think at large, when you look across the whole, the 4 games that were played in the landscape of football with all that happening, I think you could attribute it more maybe to who was playing, not as much as who played or didn't play the week prior.
Eventually we'll get to 16 where there won't be any bye weeks, and you would think, and then every top 8 seed will get to host a home game then at that point. Hopefully, too, that'd be even better. I'm with you on that. Yes, we will see what happens, though, as the evolution of the college football playoff continues.
We punting on Austin then?
I think we're going to punt on Austin, it looks like this time. But, I'm sure he had a lot of good things to say. So, well...
You looked very excited.
He did. He did look excited there. And plus, I haven't heard about his Disney trip. So, have you been made privy of any of that kind of drama?
But I saw a lot of people that were in Disney stuff yesterday flying back from Orlando.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah. I'll say this. Orlando, they did a really good job. The airport was very efficient. They did a great job with all of it. But, yeah, it's a lot of people.
A lot of kids on the flight then?
There weren't as many kids as I would have thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
I got you. All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back next, we will wrap things up and tell you what's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
Hey, you know that chronic pain in your knees, hip, back, shoulders, whatever joint it might be, it can make life feel impossible. But at QC Kinetics, there's a breakthrough treatment that's giving patients relief. Some cases, even within 1 day. It's called stem wave therapy. This device has been used for over 20 years in Europe, and it's made its way to the United States. And there's a groundswell of demand for the treatments because the patients are getting real relief from acute pain, and they're spreading the word. Here is the most interesting detail. The device is both a diagnostic and therapeutic, helping Dr. Ray Tesner and the medical team at QC Kinetics find the problem and then trigger your body's own natural healing response. StemWave uses the same technology as lithotripsy, the sound waves that penetrate, spark blood flow, and more cellular activity. That's exactly what you need to promote healing and relief. Wondering if this is a good solution for you or your pain? QC Kinetics is making it easy. Your first treatment is only $49. So call for a consultation and ask about the $49 treatment right here at 380-208-4544.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
When it comes to prostate cancer, go to pcf.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Go to pcf.org today.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a common seasonal virus, but it can have major implications on a patient's heart health. Most RSV cases involve mild cold-like symptoms, but up to 160,000 adults are hospitalized each year for more serious cases. And RSV can escalate chronic health issues. If you're over the age of 60, talk to your doctor to find out if the new RSV vaccine is right for you. And learn more at heart.org/RSV.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Bobby is the all-American male. Tito pulled a hammy getting his mail. This is Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? An opportunity to work alongside them as partners. Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin, they've got the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals. Whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground or line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank, they'll tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in and get to know them at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, let's tell you what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right. It's a Wednesday, Bob.
Yeah.
That means you go first.
How was Schlegels yesterday?
You know, I'm glad you asked that. I wasn't sure, because many of you guys have gone through in the last couple of days how he would be, and also Justin for that matter, because obviously Justin was a teammate of Nick's as well. I wasn't sure what kind of Schlegels we would get. We're never sure anyway, but we weren't sure on this one also.
Less sure than normal.
Right. So I told Bodie, I said, let's give Schlegels to like 7:05. Let's talk about something else first, and so we can kind of ease into Schlegels. I'm not sure what it's going to be like. And he came out on fire. Like it was, he comes out. I think he sounded like he'd almost like a Ric Flair thing. Woo! To start things off, and lots of energy. And like we always do with him, Bob, is I let him control where it was going to go. I just basically give him the keys and say go. Right.
Keep him on a leash, but let him run.
Yes, exactly right. And then at the very end, he mentioned Nick. He did criticize. He was because I remember asking him at the end. I asked him about his what it was like. What were the differences when you were a strength and conditioning coach for Jacksonville with professional athletes versus when you're with Ohio State? And he said there's no difference. And he said, and he made some comment about how you're out there to win. You're out there to do all these things. And he made fun of Justin for how much he could not lift.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well,
and then he brought up Nick at the very end, and it was nice. It was touching, a touching thing he said at the very end. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad that went well. That had me juiced. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, man, I wonder how Schlegels is. I got the chance to sleep in, and it was good. Watched a subpar Monday night game after my speaking to the Orlando Touchdown Club, which was fun. I really enjoyed it. They are gracious hosts for me. I've been down there a couple times, and said as long as you'll keep having me back, I love to come. But got a chance to share some of my college football experiences and where I think the game is going, and then also sharing some stories about my friend Nick Mangold, who I'll be out next week, early in the week, handling his preparations and arrangements. So I'm glad I'm going to get a chance to be able to do that and to pay my respects and to see his lovely wife and kids and make sure that they are honored the way at least I can honor them there. So it's going to be a long week. Going to be a long weekend with them honoring Nick at the game and the moment of silence and the celebration and the cheering. Hopefully after that will ensue. That would be tremendous. But it's just, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. And so I'm emotionally drained right now at this point. I was exhausted last night. So I watched Armageddon to inspire me with a group of oil drillers that had to go save the world, Thitoff.
Bob, I was thinking about
Harry Stampert.
When you said emotionally drained, and I thought about this too. I have not admittedly caught your podcast you did the other day. I know you did, the whatever it was. We did a segment and a half or whatever talking about Mangold, but then you and Schlegels, and you had AJ Hawk on as well.
Well, the thing with AJ was actually from 2 weeks ago after he announced it.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, he was still alive when we were talking about that. The show that we did on Monday was entirely about Nick, and that was a emotional hour that we put together there. And so it was a lot of stories, a lot of things going in, and there's still stories and things that were coming out and stuff. And I will say this, what's got me juiced in a really big way is, it stinks when you get old, it's weddings and funerals, or when you get together, and I'm through most of the wedding season in my life. But a former coach of mine, he was a GA at Ohio State when I was here. He's now actually working over at Indiana. Tress would have the seniors speak at our final meeting during training camp every night. So you would meet during the day, and there was all this. And then our night meetings, our meeting at the end of the evening after dinner, which would be like 7:30 to like 8, 9 or something. There'd be a little football in it, but a lot of it was more human development. And we'd present on a book, the seniors, and then he'd have you get up and speak. And you'd have one of your fundamentals of winning. Everybody would pick one. Your hero and winner in life, and someone you respected, your real life issue, and then what playing at Ohio State means to you. And the coach, they would have boxes you could fill out in the winner's manual that we would all get every year. And I don't have any of the ones that I have when I played, but he did give me one. I asked for one in like 07. I was like, hey, you know what? Probably would like to have one of those. And so Trust gave me one, but Mike sent me back the notes that he took on us, on everything. And it's amazing because I'm looking through all my teammates and everything there and what playing at OSU means to me. And seeing AJ Hawk, the relationship you have, feels like family. Mine, it said friends for life that you make here. Nick's, the relationships, living with AJ, what it was like to play with him growing up, the brotherhood, other people were saying it's all the same stuff, just dressed up a little bit differently. And it's the same 20 years ago as it is today. It was the same 40 years prior to that, and it will always be the same. It's the players that are in that locker room with you is what make Ohio State, Ohio State. And Nick made me laugh. I posted some of this stuff on social media. I had read through it. I didn't even think twice about it. But Nick's his real life issue, academic integrity. You can get kicked out for cheating at school. I don't know if we picked these or Tress assigned them to us and gave us our issue. My real life issue, the Columbus bar scene. One of my teammates loved that. I sent it to him. He goes, of course that would be yours. I'm like, everybody's got a vice, reputation on the line when we talked about it. My fundamental was toughness, believing you can be your best, how that, working through that, being tough on, throughout the off season will make you a tough player during the year. AJ's was team. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Don't dwell on mistakes. And Nick's, it was amazing. And this is his attitude, a happy, optimistic person attitude helps shape your day. And it always shaped Nick's. And he was, that's why he was the big guy. And that's why when I talked to Ross yesterday about the moment of silence, I go, Nick really wasn't a moment of silence guy. He's probably more a little bit of a moment of celebration. And so hopefully we'll be able to cheer so loud on Saturday, he'll be able to hear us. And that is what's got me juiced. What has Schlegs got to say?
The Big Ten is now the girthy 10. It's amazing because he goes coast to coast, right? Top to bottom. And if you think about it, flip the United States on its axis to where it's vertical, but from the East Coast to the West Coast, it's like 2,600 miles of length and almost 1,600 miles of girth. That's pretty beefy. That's the Big Ten.
There you go.
Thank you, Schlegs.
That's a breakdown.
What's got you juiced, Isaiah?
My girlfriend, every couple of months, tries to take up a new hobby.
Okay.
And her most
Obviously,
recent
those
hobby.
stick really well, I see.
Yeah, exactly. So the last one, she's gone through a handful of them. Every 3 months, she's like, I need to find something to do.
Right.
In my free time, it's usually like reading or some sort of crafting. The most recent one.
I don't know, is reading a hobby?
That's what I say. And then she always says, no, read it. I can get a book. I can get a book. And then she never does. But the recent one, I wanted to stick because now she's into baking.
Oh, okay.
Which makes a huge difference in my life. She's been doing muffins, chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
She's like 50-50 right now on like what's working and what's not. Her first like 2 batches of muffins, incredible. Third batch, horrible. We
Okay.
threw them all out. Cookies, first batch, incredible. Second batch, horrible. We
Usually
threw them all
it gets
out.
better as you go.
You would
not
think,
the
yeah.
inverse.
Sounds like
Yeah,
she
it is.
peaked.
And every single time she does it, like every time she bakes, she's like going off of recipes and things. I don't know if she's messing them up or very inconsistent, but the things that are good have been hidden.
Yeah.
And so in the next couple months, if you see me gaining some weight, that means this hobby finally stuck. If I look the same, that means that she's on to something new.
That's fair. That's
Hopefully
fair.
one day we'll roll you in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. So that would show us that she has picked up on that. Yeah. I guess my wife does that too with the hobbies a little bit. Like she'll jump onto something and then, but she always, and she's big in like, I'm trying to improve myself and try new things. Whereas I am so much just stuck in my ways. I'm stubborn. I don't, by the fact I haven't been to a corn maze yet, Bob, is one of those things. Like I don't
know if
do.
that's something that will help you improve?
It might not, but it's like I just don't do things like that. I don't try new foods. Quite the catch,
fine.
aren't I?
That's okay.
Yeah. Let's see what's got me juiced. So it's that weird moment where there's no sports for Artie going on, so it's not getting to practices.
The week or 2 weeks or whatever that is, it's not very long, but the transition sports seasons are the best.
Yes. Charlotte still has swim, but that's every night over at the high school. But yeah, the not taking Artie to flag football or to soccer practice right now. I know it'll pick back up again here shortly, soon enough, but it just hasn't. It's that time where there's nothing going on, and having a kind of a regular schedule with getting him to bed and things like that, and not having to run around at night has been nice. So I've enjoyed that. Is all your kids' sports are done for right now, Bob? Are you in that mode?
No, RJ still have football.
Oh, RJ still have football. Yeah, we got
week 1 of the playoffs.
Week 1 of the playoffs coming up. UA is hosting.
Westerville Central.
Westerville Central is what that is, I believe. Yes. Did you see where they kicked Ironton out of the state playoffs? The OHSAA did.
Yeah, I got to see. I mean, they were talking about all these players that have come from different schools to play there, and
different states, even. Yeah.
Well, you say different states.
I know.
Ironton's closer to West Virginia than it is Columbus.
I know.
It's closer to Kentucky than we are to Delaware.
Sure.
It's right across the river. It's on the water. So acting like some other state when you're a border county and a border city.
Okay.
Just, yes, geographically for postage it makes a difference.
Yeah.
But as far as driving, it's not a big deal. But I want to research this a little more because I've looked into it some. I know the players have obviously come from different places, and it's just interesting to me. Like they say the term recruiting and how they got there, and the eligibility, and I guess one of the kids. I mean, their parents still have their house and they've got an apartment and different things. But I don't know. Like I guess I see that and say, well, you want to go have your kid be part of a really good program. Your son wants to be part of that. Really for any sport, and you're willing to financially make that happen in the best way you can, like for your kid. I don't have a problem with that. I don't see the main issue with that. Now, how they transfer, how they got there, and different things, but it's not like Ironton is paying these kids, at least to my knowledge, to come there and go play.
It can't. What's and I don't know, Bob, but you might not know either, so I'm putting you on the spot here. But if you're like, say, a St. Ignatius or something like that. Obviously, kids don't have to live in your district, I would think, to go to St. Ignatius necessarily.
Yeah.
They can pay to go there, or they can also get on a scholarship to go there if their family does not have the means, correct?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that's recruiting, but...
Yeah, and that's like, what's the difference? And some of it comes down now, like transferring and, sitting out. And I think maybe when you transfer, but if you start a school... As a freshman, I believe, I think my knowledge, because I think the transfer stuff only starts to really kick in when you're in high school. I don't believe that it is part of middle school, but I may be wrong in that. I've never heard of it being an issue there. But, yeah, I mean, you can, as long as you start there, you can go there, and however you got there is irrelevant.
And so, yeah, I want, like, where is the delineation between those two is the part that's interesting to me, is that if you can... You not, and I'm not accusing any Catholic schools around of recruiting, but you can certainly though have you can have a kid who's not living there go there with the enticement though of also not the fact you can't afford to go there. The school can still put you on a scholarship type thing to where you really you're getting a scholarship for that to go play football somewhere else, and I know it's one of the things where there's some talk about we should have a private school championship and a public school championship. Just because the private schools seem to do very well in certain sports and consistently well in certain sports.
Yeah. I mean, that's real. And, like, that's what Texas does. Texas has too. I mean, I don't know if there's enough private schools to be able to do that. Obviously, there's significantly fewer, so they'd have to have some different division things and how they work. I don't think you'd have a full 7 divisions with that, but... Yeah, I mean, but Ironton's a public school anyway with this, getting back to the genesis of that. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how I felt about it. Ohio's never had that, so, and I think Texas had it for a long time. I know some other states have that. So, yeah, it's just an interesting concept to me, and it's not one that I'm opposed, but it's one that I think needs to probably be explored a little bit.
And, yeah, I would like to do a deeper dive, too, in the Ironton thing, see why the OHSA felt it was prudent to...
Well, I was reading where some of the kids, like how they transferred. Now, I don't know how long they've been there and if they've only been there for a year and, different things. But, one of the like you have to make a move and they have to prove that you have residency and all this stuff. And I guess one of the kids had the apartment there, which is where his parents were still saying they lived, but even though his parents still worked in West Virginia where they were from, they still had their house over there. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I guess if you're willing to have a residency in a school district, how you came about that should not matter to me. But they have rules and things about that at the OHSA. So
yeah, it seems like every year when in the state basketball tournament there's a lot of private schools in there in that Final Four and the final games, and so anyway, it's interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, Ironton defending state champ, if I'm not mistaken, not allowed to be in the playoffs this year.
I think it's the next 3 years.
Yes,
the next 3 years. Is it really?
Which that's kind of crazy. Because you think about how many people that are just going to Ironton, they're now being affected by that.
Yes, I think that was ridiculous. If you want to ban them for this year, that's fine. But
right.
Like the next 2 years, this isn't like college where you chose to go to a place.
Right.
I mean, some people probably did, but you're living there. Like it's a public school that you live at in the district. So you're going to punish kids for that? Like that's crazy town to me.
So are they letting people then? Could kids that go there, can they transfer to other schools and play immediately?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's interesting. Yeah, the 3 year thing out.
Because you think about families that have lived there, like they're not going to move.
Right.
Like, there's lots of people that have lived in Ironton their whole life. Their kids are going there, and now those kids are just stuck playing just regular season.
Yeah, you're a sophomore, and you're never going to be able to play in the state playoffs. It's terrible.
At a school that does breed good football players.
Yes,
I mean,
does.
they're always good.
Yeah.
And so for these kids that have done it.
They've always been good, too.
Yeah.
It's not like this is some new phenomenon.
Right. It's not like the SMU, right?
Yeah, they've been good for 60 years.
Right, yeah.
And so for it being like such a big football town, you'd think those kids that have done it the right way, it really hurts them coming into their junior and senior season, which really does stink.
Okay, that's it for today's Morning Juice. I would thank Austin Ward, but hell with you, Austin. You didn't show up. No, just kidding. There was technical difficulties. We'll try to...
We saw him. We just couldn't hear
we
him.
saw him, yes. And we do get Austin, I believe, filling in for you one day coming up. Might be Friday this week.
Sounds good.
I think so. So we'll get plenty of Austin then. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you, Bobby. Glad you're back home safely.